once again. So in the morning, I discussed about the export licensing procedure or export authorization procedure in DDP. Now I'll just explain you the process which is being followed in the Government of India for getting defense licenses and the foreign direct investment. Now, defense license, where in 2001, the defense sector was opened up for private sector participation. Thereafter, a number of reforms have been taking place. We have been supporting and promoting the MSMEs to come up and indulge in defense sector. And for that reason, the processing, the process for grant of defense license has also been streamlined. So there was a big list of items for which license was required, since the sector of the defense sector is actually a restricted sector for any kind of manufacturing. And the list which was there prior to 2019, that was, I think, it first notified in 2014. And in 2019, the list was streamlined. A number of items were just taken out from the list so that the small manufacturers can do it without the license. And the items which were of strategic importance or were important parts to be incorporated into a defense item, they were kept under licensing procedure. So Press Note 1 of 2019 series was notified by DPIIT. DPIIT is the licensing authority for many items under the IDR Act. And under the Arms Act, it's the Ministry of Home Affairs which issues licenses. Now the major heads for which DPI, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, gives licenses are defense aircrafts, warships, defense electronics, countermeasure equipments, body protective items, and electro-optronics. That is your electro-optics, your countermeasure equipments like radars, they are also licensable. Now, under the Arms Act, MHA and DPIIT both are the licensing authorities. For small ammunitions, arms and ammunitions up to 12.7 mm caliber, MHA is the licensing authority. MHA is the licensing authority. And for small arms and ammunition above 12.7 mm caliber, it's the DPIIT. And for battle tanks, armored fighting vehicles, defense explosives, which also is covered under the Arms Act, for this, MHA, DPIIT is the licensing authority. I think the tick which was put there has somehow missed. Now, DDP, Department of Defense Production, is only a recommending body. DPIIT and MHA, both the licensing authorities, have their own stakeholders. And for defense licenses, DDP is also one of the stakeholders. So we receive licenses which DPIIT and MHA forward us for considering grant of license for the items which are there in the defense product list or the Press Note 1 of 2019 series. The licensing authorities circulate the application to their stakeholders, the state government, who examine the application from the location or the land point of view of the industry or the company, to MHA's internal security for the security clearance, for Ministry of Corporate Affairs about the company's background, to DPIIT and MHA if in case there is an FDI or any other issue, and Department of Defense Production, whether this item, the license for this manufacture of this item is required by Ministry of Defense or not. Now in the Department of Defense Production, we have a standard committee headed by Joint Secretary DIP, which considers the application and then recommends it to the concerned licensing agencies, licensing authorities. So standing committee considers the application in consultation with various stakeholders. The stakeholders include the service headquarters, the DGQA and AQA. These are the quality assurance agencies, the DRDO, technical agency, all acquisition wings. That is depending on whether this item has been procured by the forces earlier or there is a requirement of these items in future for that, or from that perspective, and the concerned DPSUs, those who are already into this field of manufacturing, whether the funds or the financial strength of the company for manufacturing this item is adequate or not. Now, these are the areas which are considered by DDP while recommending the grant of license. The source of technology, whether the company which has requested for a license already has the know-how of the technology which is involved in manufacturing that item, or it has a technological tie-up. That has to be given very clearly by the company. The financial strength of the promoters, whether they are financially strong enough to sustain and manufacture this particular item. Their experience in defense business, their background, do they have any know-how as to what this item is and who will buy from them? What will they do after this? Equity structure of the company, if there is any foreign investment involved in this, or the promoters are only from domestic promoters are there. The capacity, manufacturing capacity, what would be the annual capacity of the item they intend to manufacture? The land, the licenses which are given for manufacture of defense items, such companies are mandatorily to abide by the provisions given in a security manual. There is a security manual notified by DDP, and which is mandatory for the companies to adhere the provisions given in them. Then the FDI that is involved in the company. Now the defense product list has been rationalized and notified in 2019 by DPIIT. Under the IDR Act, the parts and components have been delicensed. As I said, to facilitate the MSMEs to manufacture small parts and components, it's not necessary that they come and take the license. They can always do it. And that's why these items have been removed from the mandatory licensed products. License capacity has been deregulated under the IDR Act. So under the Arms Act, of course, you have to very specifically state as to what is the capacity of the items that you intend to manufacture. But under the IDR Act, you don't have to mention the quantity for which you are seeking this license. And then the validity of the license, which was initially for 3 years, it has now been extended to 15 years. Because being in defense sector, it takes time for the company to really start up their business and start manufacturing. Considering that 3 years time was considered as not enough, and it was increased to 15 years initially, which is further extendable by another 3 years. Now so far, till 20th of November, 713 licenses have been issued by the licensing agencies in defense sector. That is, these many licenses have been recommended by DDP so far. So under the IDR Act, DPIIT has issued 486 licenses. Under the Arms Act, DPIIT has issued 117 licenses. And under the Arms Act, MHA has issued 110 licenses. Before 2014, 215 licenses were issued. So the thrust of the government to promote MSMEs is very clear from this. After 2014, 498 licenses have been issued so far. So one company may seek for more number of licenses also. It may have different products for different licenses, licenses for different products. So 430 companies have been issued. The licenses are 713, but the companies to whom these licenses have been issued is only 430. And after giving the license, the company has to commence production also. That also is required to be intimated to the Department of Defense Production and the licensing authority as well. So commencement of production has been reported by 134 companies against 203 licenses. That is, the items that has been that are to be manufactured against 203 licenses have already commenced production. Now, foreign direct investment. This foreign direct investment is investment of a foreign company or a foreign entity into the Indian industry. So this, after the liberalization, that is after the opening up of the defense sector for Indian private sector partnership, up to 74% FDI in defense sector is now permitted under the automatic route. So companies not seeking defense industrial license, can now get FDI up to 74% through automatic route. And those with already industrial license or those who have an FDI approval already with them, if they have fresh investment up to 49%, then they have to submit the declaration to the Department of Defense Production within 30 days of such investment. And if the investment is beyond 49%, then they have to seek government approval. FDI up to 100% is permitted under government route only. And the investee company should be structured to be self-sufficient in areas of product design and development. For FDI, the applications are received through Foreign Investment Proposal Portal, which is under the control of DPIIT. It was earlier, the proposals were cleared by the Foreign Investment Promotion Board, which was then Ministry of Finance, but that has been wound up. And now through FIFP portal, the applications are received. These applications are forwarded by DPIIT to RBI, to MHA, and MEA for comments, besides the administrative ministry. For defense sector, DDP is the administrative ministry, and therefore all applications where FDI in defense sector is involved, the applications are received in DDP. In DDP, the applications are considered in consultation with our stakeholders, internal stakeholders, again the acquisition wing, the three services, and DRDO. Once the comments of all the stakeholders have been received, including the RBI, the MHA, and MEA, thereafter the file is processed for seeking approval of RM to allow the FDI in that sector. Until September 2024, the FDI inflows of over 5,516 crores have been reported by the companies operating in defense and aerospace sector. Any question? I'm here to take any question.